maybe we'll just get right into talking about that process of becoming a journeyman. As we're trying to achieve these goals of journeyman or contractor license, or the master license in between, those are the goals. Those are what we need to keep our eye on. And as I work with students, I refer to that as eye on the prize. As long as we have our eye fixed on what we want, we can move in that direction. There's going to be a lot of effort involved with achieving any of these license levels. And sometimes the work involved can become very strenuous or overwhelming. And it's that focus on the prize that helps us to keep moving through that. So, if we look at really what is the prize, we're trying to get a license. And for me, I think it's pretty easy to see the value in that, because any license level that you accomplish generally has an income increase attached. So, some things are harder to motivate people about, but this is money, right? Money, as we know, doesn't solve all of your problems, but having a little more towards your existing budget always helps or makes your lifestyle better. So it's almost a no-brainer. The prize is there. The license is what you want, but sometimes it's challenging to get there. So let's talk for a minute about that process as you start right into the trade, all the way up to becoming a plumbing contractor. To begin with, of course, you would need an apprentice license. In pretty much all states, they're going to require that licensing while you are gaining the experience. And that's kind of key. If a plumber is doing work out there, but is not licensed with the state, first of all, they're probably working illegally. And second of all, they're not progressing, and the state won't recognize the time that you've put in as you're gaining that experience. So we become apprentices, we license with the state, and then we gain that work experience. Often that's going to involve also evening classes or some form of apprenticeship education. And that will usually last that 4 to 5 years. At that point, that plumber has gained a lot of experience and the education necessary to be able to go and take the journeyman test. That journeyman test is going to be issued by the state, and they're going to be the ones that set those requirements. Now, throughout the United States, there are slightly different requirements as far as what's tested, but it is fairly similar across the board. There's going to be code, and code just dictates how we do the trade. There's going to be some applied math and some general knowledge. Those are sort of questions. And often there's also a practical test that would show, your ability to function or perform as a plumber. So, we prepare, we go, we take that journeyman test. That's going to involve an application to the state and then taking those tests. And then we can achieve that journeyman license. Now, in most states, that's it puts you in a better position as far as your work. You're often in leadership, but most states are going to require additional testing in order to start a business. Now, years ago in Utah, they used to just let any journeyman plumber who, had his license go start his own business. But they saw some real problems with that, because even though this plumber is a really good plumber, they're like year one apprentice when it comes to business, and they have very little experience in business or management. And they saw an unfortunate number of people who would start a business and then fail because they weren't familiar with what it takes to run a business, to be a contractor. And so to put up a little more safeguard for those who want to succeed, they require now a master license and then a contractor license beyond that. Now, not all states will require a master license, but in order to start a business or to be in business as a plumber, you will need a contractor license. So the difference with those, the master license and the contractor license, beyond the journeyman, is that it really is focused on business and understanding the basics so that we can succeed. Here in Utah and probably many other places, the master license involves a mix of both, trade questions, the stuff that was on the journeyman test, but also things that are particular to business or contracting work. So it's kind of a mix. And then of course the contractor or business law tests are just that. They're helping to prove that you know what you need to know in order to be a contractor. So that's kind of the main steps of the processes. Upstryve, I know, has a lot of resources for those who are progressing or trying to meet those license requirements or prepare for the test. Now, those resources would include a bookstore, and they have a wide variety of books that would apply. Or particularly, they have also those list of requirements for whatever state you're in that they can help you with, so that you know what is required and what books would be helpful. So those are a few of the resources, but in addition to that, there are opportunities to work together with mentors or tutors. A tutor is kind of one of those people who can help fine tune. Maybe you have a track or your plan. Maybe you're doing great, chugging along, but there's something along the way that just needs a little bit of attention, specific. Maybe it's math, maybe it's particulars on code or test taking. But that's where a tutor can kind of focus in and say, let me help you with this specific, so that you're doing great, but this is going to help you to win. It's a great resource for you to help you to accomplish your goals, to be able to make a plan, then get on that track, follow it out, and reach your goals and achieve your license.